When Drake dropped Family Matters, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought it was over. DJ Academics would go to his stream and dance and slide on this man Kendrick Lamar. Fast forward 30 minutes later, and that energy would switch up a whole bunch.
Is this another song? What the fuck? Yo, I just looked. Kendrick dropped 2. Oh my God, this is crazy.
And if Drake's #1 Glazer was feeling like this, I can only imagine what Drake was feeling like. I think RDC World captured this moment properly.
Hey, Kendrick, you want to turn the lights on?
No, leave them off.
Did you hear that?
Drake dropped.
You heard it?
I expected it.
Oh, okay. You know you was talking about...
My family.
Yeah.
I'm uploading now.
Let's get this in.
Drake.
What is that? What is that? Man, put that away, Cody. No, we're not doing that. I made a song called Family Matters, and he drops a song called Meet the Grams. Okay, y'all must think I'm fucking stupid. Who's the mole?
Drake, we don't even know half these niggas, bruh.
Hey, Kenny, you got them pressing here. Go ahead and drop the next one tomorrow.
What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
What?
What the fuck? What the fuck is that?
There was something so dark and so sinister about this record that I don't even know how to even place it. Something about it just gave me the vibes of like a scene of a horror film. Hence why I think the Alchemist was the perfect man for the job. If we look back at the track Euphoria, K-Dot shared his feelings about the music industry.
Whoever that's fucking with them, fuck you niggas and fuck the industry too.
And if you don't know, the Alchemist feels the exact same way.
Fuck the music industry. And just be honest, like, it's a headache. It's a fucking disgusting industry. And I don't feel like I'm in it anymore. So when I make beats and I produce on someone's album, yeah, I'm in the industry. There's no way around it.
And if we take it back to Metro Boomin and Future's We Don't Trust You album, which happened to kick this whole Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef off with the song Like That, you can hear Prodigy being referenced on every song. And if you don't know, Prodigy is a part of Mobb Deep. RIP Prodigy, by the way. And they were produced by The Alchemist. I want to take a deep dive into the mind of The Alchemist and where he would be at to make a record like Meet the Grams. In most cases, producers usually sample one record. However, we're talking about The Alchemist here. The first 2 records can be found at whosampled.com, where The Alchemist would sample Can You Say Yeah by Andrew Warts and the Gospel Storytellers.
Can you say yeah?
You can hear it being sampled at the very beginning of Meet the Grams. It's the vox or vocal part of it. While the intro and the main part of the Meet the Grams beat would be the sample from I Want to Make It by Timothy Carpenter and Triunity. To paraphrase Kung Fu Kenny, BKA Kendrick Lamar in the song 616 in LA, we need to pick the carcass apart using the tool that was used to produce this song, which is the MPC 2500. So in order to sample inside of the MPC 2500, we need to access the sampler. So what we need to do is press mode and pad number 5, which is record, and it brings us to the sampling mode. I'm gonna sample from my iPad, even though I don't have the record. The record is extremely rare, trust me, I looked for it. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit play, and you can hear the sample. When I'm good and ready to go, I can start the sampling process, but you can do a couple of things too. The first thing you might want to do is navigate to threshold. So you can set your threshold on your MPC, or on any MPC by the way, and it will record immediately as soon as it hears the sample. So let's hit record and press play, and we're sampling it in there. And then you can preview it by pressing the play button. I'm good with that. That's all you need from that sample, so we'll hit keep. The next thing we want to do is just go to the next part of that sample, which I believe is about 39 seconds in. We'll just start the recording process now. All right, we're good to go. We'll stop it. We'll stop the iPad, or you can stop your vinyl or record player, and then we'll listen to it. Now let's sample the gospel storytellers. Same process as before. We'll hit record and then press play.
Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah?
Good, play it back.
Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah?
That's good to go. We'll keep it. We'll go just a little bit before the 204 mark.
Let's be right there. The Lord brought me.
Stop it, play it back.
Let's be right there. The Lord.
That's cool. We'll keep it. Next thing that we'll do is press the main button to exit out of the sampler, and then press mode and pad number 6, which is trim. So on the MPC 2500, even if you sample in stereo, you can choose either left or right. I will just go ahead and stay with the left, and then I will navigate to the start point and end point, which you can control with the data wheel. So what I need to do is press on these pads and find the proper part. All right, so we need to go over here. And if we need to, we can go and zoom in some more using the F3 button. Should be right about here, maybe. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. Sounds about right. So what I'll do is trim that sample, and from edit we can do this. We'll discard. So let's discard, hit do it. Boom. And let's listen back to the sample. And that's good to go. So from here, we can go and choose another sample.
Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah?
And we'll repeat the process. You can also hit full level, so you can have full level every single time you press on one of the pads.
Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah?
All right, so I like that.
Can you say yeah?
And now we'll go to the endpoint.
Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah?
What we need is just can you say yeah. So let's go ahead and trim that up. This is what the sample number 4 sounds like.
Let's be right there. The Lord.
I don't need the Lord part. I like how it's already at let's be right there.
Let's be right there. The Lord.
Let's go ahead and get it all the way. Let's just see.
Let's be right there. The Lord. Let's be right there.
Get right here.
Let's be right there. Let's be right there. Let's be right there.
After trimming the samples up the way that you want, or the way that's needed for this example, we'll just go back into main, and then we'll go into mode, and then pad number 7, which is program editing. This is where things can be a little tricky, but don't fret, it's not as hard as it looks. So the first thing we need to do is just hit a pad. I'm going to hit pad number 13 and assign a program, or assign a sample to that pad. So I'm going to go to this first number right here, because you can layer your samples on here. But what we're going to do is find that sample. And now that it's in there, we can just hit stop to stop the sample from playing all the way through. Love that about the MPCs. And what we'll do is go over to parameters, or actually, yes, let's go over to parameters. And then we'll use the cursor right down here to navigate down, and we'll change it from poly to mono. This is a trick that you will learn if you use the MPC 60 or 3000. It's kind of an old head type vibe here when it comes to that. Now we're gonna go ahead and double down and go to a mute group. We'll just set a mute group to 1, and then we'll put mute target from A13, I believe, A13. Then we'll go from this part over here, and then we'll hit pad number 14 and assign the other sample. And now that we have assigned that sample, we can go ahead and repeat that process. Go right over here, put it into mono, put it in mute group 1. And you see that it's chopping each other off. That's cool. We love that for the track in itself. And that will be the process for everything else. The other thing that we'll do is go back to the samples. We'll assign the voxes. So let's go ahead and assign the voxes to a pad.
Can you say yeah?
And then we'll assign the last vox right here.
Let's be right there.
Boom. Before we lay down the track, we need to go ahead and add effects to those voxes. Remember, there's a delay on those voxes in Meet the Grams. So what we need to do to get to the effect is press mode and then pad number 12, which is effect, and then we'll add a delay. So all you have to do is just scroll all the way down. That's one of the things about the MPC 2500. It comes with effects unlike the MPC 2000 XL. So now that we have a delay assigned, we can go to another feature. We need to press mode and then the mixer. It works exactly the same. If you're familiar with the 2000 XL or any of the older MPCs, assigning effects is pretty much the same. And of course, I'm working on JJOS, which is the way on the MPC 2500. And from here, I'll just adjust some things. I'll adjust the two of voxes because I want them to be as low as possible. But from here, I can also do a effects send. And from here, I need to initiate it. So you have to hit the cursor button, which you can't see right here, but I'm gonna turn it on and then put it on 1 and then put it on let's be right there. And then you can hear the effect. Now we can go to the effect itself and adjust that input. So go to the effect and then you'll see delay. And then now we'll sync it to the BPM. And it will have a distinctive sound to it.
Can you say yeah?
So we're listening to the sample, and there's one issue with the sample. Both of them. That's not how it sounds like in Meet the Grams. What we need to do now is go mode and program and tune those samples up to semitones. This man Alchemist is a beast, bro. Facts. Now let's begin the sequencing process. So the first thing I want to do is this right here. Let's go into the main button right here, and then we're going to use tap tempo. Tap tempo is always your friend if you want to know the tempo of a sample. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So we have it at 69. What we can do is just lay it out. So we'll just record a simple sequence right now. As you can hear, it's a little too slow. So what we want to do is adjust the BPM accordingly. So we have it at 70 BPM now. And so what we can do now is add the vox.
Can you say yeah?
There is one issue that we have going on with this. So what I want to do is go right back into program and let's add a filter to the Can You Say Yeah.
Can you say yeah?
So let's turn it up a little bit. And once we hit F2, which brings us to the filters, we need to add a high pass filter. Now we'll go over here and adjust the frequency. until it feels right. And if we need to adjust anything volume-wise, we can always go into mode mixer and then go over to out and turn up the Vox. One of the unique things about the MPCs, and I mean all the MPCs, even the modern ones, is that you can set up multiple sequences that have different BPMs. Why would you do that? Well, if this sample right here is faster, let's go ahead and just set it up, or we'll just chop it up real quick. 2, 3, 4. And we could do that in real time. It's still too slow. Let's try 75. And that seems about right. Now that we have everything put together, this is what we got. Straight like that. There is another instance. It just sounds like it's saying Aubrey, but it's definitely the same storyteller sample. I just don't know what in the world the Alchemist did. Maybe we need to ask him. I mean, he did make the track after all. The sampling process is the same on all the modern day MPCs as well. And if you're interested, I do have masterclasses for all the modern day MPCs. I'll just use my favorite MPC of all time, which is the MPC Live 2. So what I'll do on here is press Shift and Sampler. On the other MPCs, there is a dedicated sampler button. What I'll do is just listen to the sample. And since we know we already need that, I'll go ahead and reset it. And then I'll choose the arm, and then it'll wait for the signal. And we're good to go. Just replay it back. And then I won't even name it. I'll just keep it as new sample. So let's keep it. And then we'll move on to the next part. All right. Now that we have that sample, we can always listen back. And then we'll just choose to keep.
Can you say yeah?
The next thing to do is go into sample edit, and we can choose from the samples. So we have this. That's fine, so we don't need to edit that. So we'll start from here, and then you can use either your Q links to adjust. So we can use the Q links here, or you can use the screen. You can always stretch stuff out here. So let's go ahead and get to that point. And I already got the vibe. Once you're done with that, of course, you would have to go in the process here, discard. We're not going to do any pitching or anything like that. We're going to keep it natural. And then we'll move on to the Vox.
Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah?
So we know we need the Can You Say Yeah?
Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah? Can you say yeah?
Script a little bit more, grab a little bit more. And then we'll go ahead and process that, discard that.
Can you say yeah?
And then we'll go to the next sample. And we'll find the part we need. We need the let's be right there. Let's go ahead and edit that out. Next, let's go ahead and use the Q link for that. And if you need to, you can adjust, make sure that your Q link is on the first dot, and you can adjust in small increments too. And if that gets in your way, you see while I'm touching on the Q links, you can always press and hold the Q link on any of your MPCs, and where it says show Q link status when touched, you can turn that off and it'll be out your way. From here, we'll take it into program edit. I will just go ahead into menu. I'll press and hold menu. This works on all the MPCs. You can always press the program edit button if you have one. It's just not one on the MPC Live 2. And then we'll go into samples and we'll assign the samples accordingly. So we already have let's be right there. What I'll do is go to sample 1. Press another pad. And yes, I'll show you a couple of things or two. And we got the sample here. Let's go ahead and pitch it up to semitones. And it is a G minor. Someone said it was an A minor, but G minor here. So let's go ahead and bring that. This part is it's an A, so it's an A major. Be right there. I just love that. Now let's go over here, and we need to go to global so we can make a couple of changes. What I'll do is make a mute group. So let's go ahead and make that mute. So let's go ahead and put these two in mute group 1. So they cut each other off. And somehow, some way, shape, or form, I messed that up. So I just go back into the sample and then choose the right sample again. And let's go ahead and assign a sample real quick. Let's assign the Vox.
Can you say yeah?
And then we'll assign another Vox.
Can you say yes? Be right there.
All right. And this is where things change a little bit on the modern day MPC. You can just go ahead to your effects. Let's go to effects.
Yes, be right there. Yes, be right there.
And it did that weird thing again. Who knows? But we'll go over here, add a filter. We're going to need a high pass filter.
Yes, be right there.
And it's already good enough for that. Or you can use the drum effects right here. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep that pimping.
Yes, be right there.
And then we'll just go back to
Can you say yeah?
Can you say yeah? And then we'll add a high pass filter to that.
Can you say yeah?
So and there you have it. Of course, on both Can You Say Yeah and Let's Be Right There, you want to add a reverb. So let's go ahead and add, not a reverb, but a delay. You'll add a delay right here. One thing I learned from dabbling into the deep mind of the Alchemist is it doesn't matter if you know what the sample is or where you get the sample from. It's definitely about the technique, and exploring the Alchemist technique has taught me more than almost any other producer I've ever broken down or deconstructed. Don't get it twisted. I think skills is important, and the Alchemist has skills, but one of the biggest skills that he has is a great ear for music, and not everybody has that. Listen to how the Alchemist breaks down his beat making process.
In the early days, when I first started, I was always doing the sample first. So I would listen to a record and I would find the sample, I'd get it going, looped up kind of simply, and then I would approach it like a drummer. All right. But I would maybe, sometimes I used to beatbox it. After a while, I like felt like it was getting kind of boring, like as a producer. Not the end result was cool, but
just for the process.
Yeah, it became too predictable. And I remember I would go see Premier, and sometimes he'd be making a beat, and he would always have like a drum sound. Maybe the kicks weren't even in it, but it was like some structure of a drum and a tempo. And so over the years, I started doing that. We're like, let me get a drum going, or like a pattern or some tempo, so that way I have like a starting point. And then as I'm mixing the records, it becomes more unpredictable, if it makes sense.
Let me know how you feel about this video. Make sure you check out other videos. I got more stuff on this type of timing, and make sure you subscribe. All the stuff will be in the description box, including the masterclass. Check out my masterclass. We do get a little deep into the MPC world for sure.